Hey guys, I'm delighted to see you again today. Unless you are new here, you already know by now that most of my notes are the very definition of don't judge a book by its cover. To be honest, I'm not aware that young Sheldon ever met Dexter, and he probably never will. I'd arrange a meeting if I could, but these two characters exist in different worlds. I don't know if they still show Dexter's Laboratory on Cartoon Network, or if there is even still a TV station called Cartoon Network. But the thought that perhaps there's someone listening to this who has no idea who Dexter is makes me feel kind of old. But coincidentally, this episode is dropping on May 27, which is Children's Day in Nigeria. So happy Children's Day to everyone who, irrespective of their age, hasn't lost their childlike wonder. Well, I would like to think that I fall into this category too. So let's start at the very beginning. What inspired this episode? Today's note was inspired by two of my best motion picture characters. One of my favorite cartoons as a kid was Dexter's Laboratory, and one of my favorite shows as an adult is Young Sheldon. If you have no idea who these guys are, you could do a simple Google search. But to keep things simple, three things connect Dexter and Sheldon. Both of them are kids, both of them are super smart, and both of them are crazy about science. There's a word that I heard from my father a lot as a kid, and the word is dexterity. In layman's terms, it just means really being skilled at whatever it is that you do. Even as a child, it occurred to me that Dexter's name was probably from the word dexterity. What makes Dexter and Sheldon very smart and skilled? I would say it's curiosity and obsession. These guys are practically obsessed with science. The obsession makes them so curious that it drives them to read voraciously. And it doesn't end in reading. Both of them have laboratories where they try stuff out. And you see, the real mastery actually happens when you try stuff out. And you're often going to make a mess, like kids usually do. Sometimes the mess is very costly. If you have kids or you stayed around them, you'd agree with me that they do make costly mistakes every now and then, and they can be a pain in the neck. Dexter's laboratory once exploded while he was trying stuff out. And I also remember from one of the episodes of Young Sheldon that the refrigerator wasn't working and he decided to fix it. He dismantled it and couldn't piece it back together. This act of childish foolishness in quotes, which of course was a product of his curiosity, cost the family $200, which is a lot of money. And he did get some serious tongue lashing from his father too. But then, I would like you to take away three key lessons from the lives of these two kids. Number one, mastery happens when you try stuff out. Remember that master classes or simply reading books and watching tutorials only give you knowledge. But the man who has knowledge and does not apply it is hardly any better than the man who is ignorant. Even at the risk of failure, you got to try things out. Your risks may be a lot better calculated than Dexter or Sheldon, but the important point here is to try things out. As you try things out, you're often going to make a mess. Quite probably a costly mess, like kids do, like Sheldon did with the refrigerator, and like Dexter did on the day his laboratory exploded. Well, that should not make you lose your childlike wonder. While you strive to minimize the losses and take calculated risks, things will not always go your way. But you've got to pick up the valuable lessons and keep the train moving. John Maxwell calls it failing forward. Number three, you probably have naysayers, people who just don't understand you, people that doubt your abilities, people who think you are just a pain in the neck like Sheldon's siblings, or people who are simply out to frustrate your efforts like Didi, Dexter's sister. But just try your best to block out the noise and stay focused on the task ahead of you. To attain mastery at any worthwhile skill, you have to be so obsessed with it that nothing can deter you from your path. Do your eyes light up at the thought of it? Do you dream of it when you sleep? And does it make you excited to get out of bed in the morning? Think of anybody who has achieved very groundbreaking results and distorted the status quo. One thing you will almost always discover about them is that they become so obsessed with what they are doing that it doesn't feel like work at some point. Their obsession drives them to expand their knowledge, practice more, and endure far longer than the average person. And in many cases, they fail. They fail more times than we ever get to hear about, because as soon as they succeed, it makes up for all the failures building up to that point. They quickly get past the failures, adjust their sails, and keep moving because they are so sure that they are getting somewhere, and sooner or later, they do hit their targets. So like Dexter and Sheldon, we should learn to embrace big challenges even at the risk of failing. If there's a chance you'd fail at something, it's a clear indicator that you are not in your comfort zone, and that's a good sign. John Maxwell said, failing forward is the ability to get back up after you've been knocked down, learn from your mistake, and move forward in a better direction. To help you get to your destination faster, you probably need to embrace the reality of failing faster and earlier, because truly, the stakes are usually lower at the earlier stages. So like John Maxwell, I dare say you need to go out there and fail. Fail early, fail often, but always fail forward. If you take nothing else from today's notes, remember this: more often than not, mastery is a byproduct of obsession. I trust this was worth your time, and I hope to see you again soon. Subscribe or follow to get notified when new episodes drop. Have a beautiful week, and please share this with someone if you found it useful. Till I come your way again, keep being amazing. My name is Murphy Nnamdi Ochuba.